to the Nosebleed Seats. I'm the man conservative crime fighter, part of our 10 most influential people in Central Illinois Pro Wrestling. And tonight, we have Bobby the Business Houston, also known as Cousin Bobby in Dreamwave, and several other gimmick names. First known as Primetime Player, and then you also became known as White Lightning.
Texas Lightning.
Texas Lightning.
Crime fighter.
It's been how many years now?
Been enough.
It's been years. Yeah, a lot of years. Tonight, we're hailing from Jacksonville, Illinois, my hometown, and the both of us are Illinois college graduates.
I didn't know you were actually from Jacksonville.
Oh yes, I did my growing up. Well, I wasn't born. In Jacksonville, but yes.
Crime fighter.
Going all the way back to the beginning. How did you find you selected Illinois College to go to school? How did you decide on Illinois College?
My parents decided to move to Taylorville. Mm-hmm. So when they moved to Taylorville, we wanted to find a college that was close, and Jacksonville Illinois College was right there. So that's how I ended up here in Jacksonville.
And while you're here in Jacksonville, you somehow found New Midwest Wrestling to back in, gosh, what was it, 2005?
2005.
2004.
Okay, well, here's the story of how it all happened. We were training on the track mats, right? We would do whatever we thought we knew what we were doing. And here at IC, I minored in Japanese, so I went to Japan for 3 weeks. And over there, they had a pro wrestling club. And so this pro wrestling club, I went in there and learned how to chain wrestle a little bit and take bumps. And it was really cool, and I thought I was going to go in there and dominate, and I realized I didn't know anything. So then it just so happened, as soon as I got back, my buddies were like, hey, we found a promotion that has a wrestling school that's in Springfield. And I'm like, really? So I called them like the very next day, found out training was going to be affordable, and went and checked it out, and then I started right there. It was the summer before my senior year.
I had no idea there was a pro wrestling club in Illinois College.
No, it was in Japan.
Oh, okay.
At the Ritsumeikan University.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. What motivated you to become a professional wrestler?
I don't know. Why are you here doing this?
Hey,
because
I'm a fan, and I enjoy the.
I knew it was something I wanted to do, and my parents said, graduate college and you can do whatever you want. So instead of graduating, I just went to college and then decided. Well, I eventually graduated, but in college I decided I was going to take a step.
Let's go back to year one. Describe year one for Primetime Player. You made your debut in a Oktoberfest.
Just holding on for dear life. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was going to just come in and dominate and be awesome, and I just tried to do what I could do. It was definitely a lot of fun. So.
And I remember seeing the ad in the Illinois College newspaper. They had your picture on there.
Yeah. I definitely tried to get people out from the college and let as many people know as possible what I was doing.
Year one, pretty much were a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
What are your favorite memories from that first year?
Well, wrestling with the Madman, for sure. Had a match with Matt Boston. That was to be remembered, I guess. That's where you can put your B-roll footage in right here.
B-roll footage.
Wrestled Eric Ruffington a lot. We started together. Yeah, we started together, and I had a lot of good matches with him. And actually, we learned a lot. And he was the first person that said, "Hey, see, this is going to transition right into Crime Fighter's next question because I've been cheating." He was the one that said, "Hey, there's wrestling in other towns besides Springfield." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, get in the car and come with me." And that's how we ended up going to Terre Haute and then eventually GAW in Decatur.
Well, since you brought it up, I was going to transition to tag team wrestling, but. Yeah, you did branch out from Springfield to New Midwest. You were a standout wrestler at JW. You got voted Villain of the Year award one time. Tell us about your experiences outside of Springfield.
I loved going to Terre Haute. The place was crazy. I mean, I had never seen anything like that. You know, fans just going nuts and, well, we can't set up inside, so we'll just set up a ring in the parking lot and draw 150 people and have fun. I mean, that was, I loved going there. Charlie was the promoter, and he was awesome, and Oliver Kane was out there, and Jason Light was out there, and I mean, I had a blast. I loved going to Terre Haute. It was awesome. Always
That was
awesome.
the last show Crossroads did, right?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was one of them.
You also formed a tag team with Tricky Dick Moore, Easy Money.
That was fun, especially when we started getting the limo, and it was a good time. I remember one time we went to, we were going to get some champagne for the limo, and we drove to the liquor store, and I was in full gear, and they said, hey, you go in there and buy it in your gear. I said, all right. So I walked right in there. Turned out I ran into one of my friends that I went to college with in the liquor store. He said, what the heck are you doing here? I said, man, I got a show tonight. I got to get some champagne. So it was a blast. I had fun with that run. Tricky was fun to tag with. He was a good technical guy, you know, and I could kind of carry the personality a little bit. And I had fun tagging with him. We had a good time.
I'm surprised. Oddest thing about your tag run, you never got a shot at the tag titles, even though it was like during a time where the tag titles were just not being given enough attention back then.
Just didn't happen, I guess. I don't know.
You're also involved in a tournament, the Alexis Holmeyer Memorial Tournament, which turned out to be the very last one. There's that all-day thing at the warehouse, and you were in the finals.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, really, that was one of the first times that, like, I don't know, I took it kind of seriously. You know, you get into the ring with Rip Mystic, and, you know, he's a serious guy. It was a serious match, and the tournament was for his family member, is that correct? And,
yes, a niece passed away.
I remember when he won the trophy and was holding it up, I was actually in the ring, letting a couple tears fly. I'm not making that up. It was a pretty intense moment, I thought. I mean, for me, you know, being that young in the business, it was a big moment.
Then November Rain 2005, you had your last match before moving to the Carolinas. I remember the day where it was like, I think November Rain 2005 was the best show in the Midwest that I've ever done. And you rode into the venue in that, the longest limo I think I've ever seen. Somehow they managed to get it in, or sneak it in through the garage door with a nice little right angle turn. I don't know how they managed to turn that vehicle, get it in there, but they did. Describe that night for us.
I don't remember.
Really? It's all a blur.
What was it? Me and Tricky against somebody?
I believe it was a six-man
Wasn't
tag.
Scotty Cash with us at that point?
Yes.
I don't remember who we wrestled. I just remember when we were leaving the venue, I was a little animate with one of the fans, and Scotty grabbed me and said, hey, dude, cool it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what got it. And that was really all I remember.
Yes. I do remember you turned on Tricky Dick Moore and broke up the
tag team.
Broke up the tag team. You turned on him, and Jackie Sasbrack, of course, I guess, was mistreating him for many more months after that. And I said, when are we going to have the dream match between Primetime versus Tricky Dick?
The dream match?
It's a so-called dream match, or the so-called...
I don't know. You book it. When you book a show, you can put that match on the card. I'm telling you, you need to book a show. But that's for another video. That's a whole nother time. All right, let's move on. Come on. Let's get this
Went to
rolling.
the went to the Carolinas.
Went to the Carolinas, yeah. Actually, I found out that Jake Manning got the internship out there in Charlotte, and he was doing quite well for himself, and it was something I really wanted to do. And I called that office like every day, and they're like, we don't have anything, we don't have anything, we don't have anything. And I remember I was at GAW, and it was my very first like main event scheduled match, and I was like really proud of myself, even though there was like 10 people there. And I remember before it was like midway through the show. I don't remember if Allison was there or if it was at New Midwest, but I remember Allison said, "Hey, Jake needs to talk to you," and I'm like,
That'd be
"Oh,
Ryan Cruz, by the way."
Yeah, and I said, "Really?" And that night, Jake called me on that JAW show, and he's like, "Yeah, we want to bring you out here and give you the internship." And
The rest is history.
And I was pumped. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, that was a good feeling. I mean, that was where I wanted to go. I turned down an internship to work for a publishing company and everything. I said, that's not what I want. This is what I want. And then I got it.
And then once you got to Carolinas, you were training under George South Senior.
Yes.
What did you learn under George South Senior that you
What did I learn?
Midwest?
I learned everything. Now, don't get me wrong. The training I got at New Midwest was great. It was a great precursor to what I needed for George. Rip Mystic was excellent. Helped me out tremendously. Michael Shard and Spotlight Spencer Powers. Those three were the three that worked with me a lot at New Midwest. But when I got out to Charlotte, it bumped it up like 10 notches. So the way George trains, I mean, he'll train you the moves and the chain wrestling and that, but a lot of what George teaches you, he doesn't outright tell you he's teaching it to you. You have to know enough to pick up that he just taught you something. And so the base I got at New Midwest was really good, so that when I got out there, I had a little bit of a clue of what I was doing. And then when George was teaching me something, I would pick up on it, and it was, I mean, to this day, when it comes to running shows, when it comes to, working with green guys or whatever it is, I mean, I owe everything to George. He's awesome. There's no two ways around it. George is one of the best. That's why Flair, Steamboat, they all send their kids down to George. There's no better way to start, as far as I'm concerned.
Had the internship with High Spots, and you've got quite a bit of merchandise here.
Yeah, that's.
Tell us about what you got.
One of the perks. I got some hoods here and some DVDs. $5 wrestling. I got some Bobby Houston T-shirts, hats, autographed pictures. You name it, I might have it.
10 Pounds of Gold. That's a book on the NWA World Title.
So if you want to pick that up later, you can go ahead and purchase that.
I might as well break off a little bit. There's been a lot of fuss about the NWA in the last year or so. The 10 Pounds of Gold. Adam Pearce is the champ. They had the 7 Levels of Hate series with Colt Cabana. The NWA decided the final. It's not title. We don't want Colt Cabana winning the title in Australia. And then Adam Pearce has promised if he lost the series, he would leave the NWA. So they vacated the title. What are your thoughts on basically the NWA has been kind of in a state of implosion of late?
You're out nerding me right now, Grandfather.
Out nerding me? That was like the top.
I don't know.
One of the top stories of the year.
I don't know. In what? The newsletter? The NWA newsletter or something?
No, for Central Illinois. Because
if it doesn't involve me making money, I don't care.
All right.
That's why they call me the business, because I worry about me. I'm not worried about everybody else. I'm sure those were great matches, and the NWA is, it's the NWA, it's awesome, but if it ain't involved with me making money, don't
Bobby
concern
Houston
me.
just worries about Bobby Houston.
That's right.
Cool. What are some of your favorite memories of wrestling in the Carolinas under the tutelage of George South Sr.?
I'll tell one story. This is a really good story. So, George gets us booked in a prison, okay? And I don't know what kind of prison this was. It was interesting to say the least. So we get there and I get changed. I put my tights on. I oil my legs up. I do everything I would normally do. And I said, man, I got to go to the bathroom. Where do I go to the bathroom at? And somebody says, yeah, you got to walk, across the yard. There's a building over there. You can go to the bathroom. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I do what I normally do. I just walk out in my trunks, and there's every prisoner they have lined up in the yard. And so I just got to strut past these prisoners. And I've never been catcalled and hit on more in my life than that moment. It was one of the most disgustingly embarrassing things in my life. So I ran as fast as I could over there, and I peed, and I ran as fast as I could back, and I came back, and I put long tights on, I put a hood on. And
I think the prisoners, for the first time in years, were able to do whatever they want.
I don't know what happened. It was pretty disturbing.
Why did they go to prison? It's like a
this
charity event,
is the thing that people don't understand is that George thinks about wrestling differently than everybody else. And that's why I somewhat think differently about wrestling than everybody else. I mean, Johnny Cash went to a prison, man. I mean, it just was there, and so we went, and it's George. George used to always say, what's Vince gonna do? He's gonna make you eat worms? What's the worst thing he's gonna do? Make you eat worms? Look at all the crap I make you guys do. That's why nothing phases me. There's nothing that can phase me, because I've done most of it.
Boogeyman ate the worms. Oh, Boogeyman ate the worms. Well, I guess WWE picked up something. I don't know. You also, besides the Carolinas, you went all over the United States pretty much.
Well, with working for iSpots, we got a lot of perks. I see you got here the Cauliflower Alley Club written down. That was cool. We went to Las Vegas for a week and did the training camps, and I drank a lot of booze. And
you got to wrestle too.
I got to wrestle too, and it was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of Nick Bockwinkel was there. Harley Race was there. I mean, there was all kinds of legends there watching you wrestle, and I got one of the singles matches. So I mean, it was a pretty cool moment. It was a pretty cool week.
Eventually, you did make a return to the Midwest region, selling back in Dixon. What brought you back to this?
Well, I ran a show in Dixon towards the end of my High Spots run, and it was pretty successful, and pretty much said, hey, you've been here for 2 years as an intern, it's kind of time that you move on. And I said, oh, okay. And so I moved back home. I had $20 in my pocket and a wrestling ring. So here I am today with $20 in my pocket and merchandise.
Somehow Jake Manning is still out there.
Well, yeah, Jake earned it. That's why.
Jake earned it.
Jake earned it. I was doing a lot of drinking and smoking pot and hanging out, and Jake was in the office working, 14, 15 hours a day. Wow. And he earned it. He deserves it. Deserves every bit he's got. And he's worked hard to get where he's at. For sure. And I worked hard, just not that hard.
You created a wrestling promotion. You started a promotion up in Sterling, Dixon, the Northwest.
Yeah, we've been running shows for about 5 years. Funky Monkey Wrestling. You guys check us out, funkymonkeywrestling.com.
And that is a recent
new website. Yeah, everything.
You recently named it Funky Monkey because originally it was.
You're supposed to say, "Hey, where did you come up with Funky Monkey?"
Get into that.
We getting funky
You're
like
rushing
a monkey.
me.
We getting funky like a monkey. I thought it was cool,
How did you come up with the name? I mean, originally it was Live Pro Wrestling. And
Dusty Rhodes came up with it.
Dustin? Gold Dust.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes. Getting funky like a monkey. I thought it was catchy. There's all these cool feds. There's POW, there's Blitz, there's Dreamwave. I hate something PW or something whatever W. So, Funky Monkey Wrestling. It's different.
You got a logo.
You got a logo.
You got a mascot.
You got everything.
You got a name. Does the monkey have a name?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just funky.
What's been the challenges of running the promotion up there in
money, man.
past 5 years?
I don't have no startup money. It's all coming out of my pocket. And, I'm not going to lie, I've had some stinkers, but, me losing money compared to everybody else losing money is different. I don't lose that much money, but I've also made some money. So, I mean, it's without having that startup cash, running shows isn't easy, but, we've come out ahead most often. And the thing is, too, is where I live at, there's not a plethora of venues or anything, and I don't like paying for venues. I actually get lucky enough or smart enough to find venues that'll pay me to bring wrestling in, and those types of venues don't want to bring in every month. They want to bring in twice a year. So, we don't run monthlies, but we definitely we try and keep busy on the calendar and come out on the plus side. So that's a challenge right there. I mean, you got to have the ring, insurance, where you get the ring there. I mean, there's a lot that goes into doing this besides just, hey, we're going to have a wrestling show. Let's start a zoo. It ain't like that.
Pretty much use a 14-footer for the
I own an 18-foot ring, but Bob, the ring guy's got his 14-foot ring on hand there in Davenport. That thing's a moneymaker, man. I mean, you get a bar with a low ceiling, hey, throw that little 14-footer in there, and we're good to go. I mean, that's how you make money, right?
Yep. You also train you also have a number of students under your wing. Tell us about them.
What's really cool is to watch them become a better wrestler than you are, and to go out there and win titles and have good matches, and it's awesome. We got Tyler Priegel, Bucky Collins, Cameron Jacobs, DTM. Who else am I missing?
Judd the janitor.
Judd the janitor. Sorry, Judd.
Coach Havens.
Coach Havens. So
that's about all I can think of. Tell us about the success stories they've had. I mean, Bucky Collins has had
Bucky Collins won the
numerous
IWA
titles.
title. He won a title up there at Frontier Championship Wrestling. DTM's won more titles than I have in Central Illinois, and Tyler Priegel won the New Midwest heavyweight title. Had it for a while. So I mean, and he made the PWI 500 this year. So it's something that I've never done. So it's pretty cool to see that.
Dead Man's the Midwest heavyweight champion right now.
Right now he is?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and he's got the Frontier title.
DTM.
Yes.
He's going to make the 500 next year, you watch.
Take us through all the personality changes. I know we touched on it at the very beginning, but how did you come up with the names for your
The primetime
persona?
player was given to me, and I thought, hey, that's cool. And then look, obviously it was cool because it's getting used on TV right now. So when I first got out there, Charlotte, George had this thing where he would say whoever you look like would be your nickname, So I looked like Sam Houston, so Bobby Houston. So hey, that's catchy, Bobby Houston. Texas Lightning, Bobby Houston. So there we go. Moved back here. At work, they used to call this guy. His name was Kyle Blazer. They used to call him Kyle the Business Blazer. And I'm like, hey, that's a great nickname. So Bobby the Business Houston, and it fits. Look at all these gimmicks, man. It's the business. I even wrote my own rap song, Crime
Yes,
Fighter.
you did. And
That's the B-roll right there.
that's a B-roll right there. You also became a Beck family relative. Now you were tag teaming with Mason Beck prior to this,
Yeah.
but once you got to Dreamwave,
Once we, Dreamwave's on their own level, and if they say, hey, we got an idea for you, then you say, okay, that's fine. And they gave me an idea, and I took it and rolled with it, and I love it. So the Becks of Dreamwave has been a hit.
and right now going on a Dreamwave, the Beck family is estranged from Mason. What happened there? I mean, it's just Mason got to be too much of a pain in the rear that the rest of the family's.
He's a jerk.
We're tired of you bullying poor Waylon.
Yeah, he's a bully. He's a big old jerk.
Or maybe they're just. Maybe he was abusing Nikki Beck too much. I don't know.
Jerk.
You do all these wrestlers that you trained. Your training regimen. Are you taking students now, or is it just?
It kind of depends on who they are. I don't need. Here's the thing. I don't need guys coming in that have never played a sport in their life, never done anything active in their life, and they say, I want to be a wrestler. Why don't we hit each other with garbage cans? See, I don't need none of that. Right now, I'm looking for dimes. I'm looking for a guy that's going to come in, that's going to work hard, and either get a shot at doing something with this, or at least do everything he can with it. All the guys I've had come in and they bust their butt. I mean, they just bust their butt. And, we get guys that come up there, and the first thing I do is just try and get them to quit, usually. That's the first thing I do, because I don't need to waste my time. I got a son now, I don't got time just to be, fiddle farting around in the ring. So, I mean, if you're serious about wrestling and you live near me, you can find a way to get a hold of me, pretty much.
There seems to be of late a lot more places to train MMA.
Well, MMA's taken over. It's
yeah.
MMA, which is fine. I don't care. I mean, they're good. It's good business. They do good business. What can you say?
What's your future?
I don't know.
Wrestling at Dreamwave?
I don't know.
You got Funky Monkey Wrestling going?
Right now, I'm just trying to book as many dates as possible. I mean, I've booked like 3 dates in the last 3 weeks. So, I mean, I'm just trying to fill my calendar up at home so I don't have to drive 3 hours to do wrestling shows anymore. And, stick with Dreamwave, stick with Frontier Wrestling, and come down here and do my own thing.
You came today because you haven't done a 3-hour drive to a show for a long time.
And, that's a big reason why I quit going to New Midwest, just because it's hard to be away from the family. And when I was approached to come down here, I thought, I got to do it. And I got friends that are down here still. I haven't seen in a few years, so.
You got roots here.
Got roots here. So, if they're going to try, I thought this place would be a great venue since I was in college. So, I mean, I think it was important for me to be here, at least just show some support and say, hey, I hope this goes well.
Any advice for future wrestlers?
Hit the
You're
gym.
training people.
Hit the gym. Get big. If you're not big, try and get bigger. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I spent all kinds of hours in the ring and just not any hours in the gym. Look where I ended up. So.
Who are your top 3 most influential people in Central Illinois?
In Central Illinois?
Yes. Or pretty much
It
anywhere.
would have to be. I mean, Guy Smith is a big one. I mean, look how many people he's turned out. And I guess you could lump in, the other guys that trained me, Michael Shard and Spencer Powers, because, they turned out all this talent here. And not only that, they worked with all the talent that, around. Trip C is another one. I said it at here's another B-roll, at the award that we gave him. He had an eye for talent. And look what all the people that he had an eye for, look what they're doing. They're either top guys in Central Illinois or they're on TV, or on their way to get on TV. So
some of them made PWI 500.
And 500 and all that. And then, of course, the guy you got on there, Jay Repsol. I mean, Jay's amazing. He's a genius, obviously. He's doing great business.
Any dream match you'd like to have that you haven't had yet?
Matt Cage. I've been waiting to wrestle Matt Cage for years now. So
I just did it.
I got to book it. I know, and I wasn't on there for sure. No, I'm just kidding. Matt Cage. I would like. I'm trying to think. Tonight teaming with Dan Lawrence. This can be awesome. I love Dan.
You are going to get to wrestle Matt Cage tonight in a tag team match. Team
that's the
Overkill.
match?
Yes, Christian Rose and Matt Cage. No.
Do you know the card?
Blooper. If you win your opening match and
better
Team
cut
Overkill
that. You
wins,
better cut
then you will have a chance to wrestle Matt Cage. But you've got to win, and they've got to win.
Okay. All right.
So it's a mini tournament. So I'm not cutting this out because I just need to get there. I was on the slightly wrong path, but we got there. All right, Bobby Houston, usually we've gone a full hour with previous influential interviews, but you need to get through it
I wrap
a lot
it up.
quicker
I wrap it
tonight.
up quicker than everybody else.
I know, because you've
hey.
got to get dressed.
We're not,
wrestle
we're not
tonight.
going for time here, okay? We're just trying to get the best out of the least, right? Least amount of time, get the best in. So,
All right, Bobby Houston, I want to thank you
Crime
for
Fighter, thank you.
giving me the time this week on the MBS. That'll do for this edition
MBS.
of the Nosebleed Seats. I'm the Extra Crime Fighter. He is Bobby, the Business Houston.
Buy a t-shirt.
Buy his shirt.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Good night, everybody.
That's good, Crime Fighter.
Thank you.